In the last video you may remember that I made these to get my EGTs, and to put the thermocouple tip just above the base of the exhaust. Thanks Mick for pointing out the fact that if it's not in the center of the exhaust tube you might get some false readings. So I've just knocked up these. So this is the full length of the bolt with a hole through it, and I've just ground some bits off there. It'd be lovely to have a lathe, but a lot of this stuff needs to be done by a hand or eye. So I'm hoping now that will get that thermocouple tip into the center of that exhaust manifold tube. And there we have the end result with the new bolt, and it's put in the center of the manifold pipe, so that's good. Right, I'm going to have a go at getting a shine on this tank. My last top coat on here has gone off, but I'm not very happy about the finish on it at all. It looks like it's almost got a leather finish. The orange peel is so bad. The gun was obviously set up differently after I cleaned it, so I don't know if you can see that in the light, but yeah, I'm going to use some got some 2000. I'm going to wet it down with a bit of water and some fairy liquid, and just try and work the leatherette finish out of it. I'm just going to try the one side, and then I've got some of this stuff, finishing compound. So I'm going to try to cut it back after I've flattened it, and if that doesn't work, well, I'm back to flatten the whole thing off and putting another coat on it and give it another go. So let's see how this works out. Okay, I've had a quick go over with the 2000 just to get some of the leatherette finish off of it. Let's see how this comes up. Okay, so I think that's flattened the worst of it out. You can see the difference there. Question is, can I use this gear now to bring it back up to a shine? I'm just doing a test panel before I attempt doing the rest. See if it's worthwhile. That is my leatherette finish, but that is after buffing with a bit of 2000 grit and then polishing off with some cutting compound. So it is possible to get that crinkle cut orange peel finish out with a little bit of elbow grease. I'd rather not, and I'm hoping that my next tank will have a better finish at the end, which will reduce the amount of extra work that I need to put in. But I'm quite happy with that as a end product. So I've got to do the rest of the tank now just to get that leatherette off. So I thought I'd reassemble the tank tonight, but I won't be, because this is what happens when you shop for parts on eBay whilst lying in bed in the evening. Ordered my new gasket. Couldn't find a cork one, but Volkswagen, surely all Volkswagen gaskets would be the same, you think, on that vintage kit, but despite my old mate Glenn warning me that they aren't, I just clicked buy. This turned up and it's the wrong bloody size. So I've ordered some cork gasket material, 1.6. That's what that appears to be, and I'll be making my own cork gasket when that turns up. So really the only thing I can refit to it is my lid, my fuel cap. So I'll screw that on in a minute, and then I have to wait to put this dead weight of a sender in. Not keen on them at all. Oh, the tank. Yes, that's the finish on it. Not entirely happy, but that's as glossy as I'm going to make this one. So yeah, it shines a bit. Still got a little bit of orange peel in it. There's some glassy bits like this, and there's some not so glassy bits. But yeah, I can't just keep rubbing down and flattening back. So I'm hoping on my slipper tank it'll all be glassy, and I will have learnt the trade in time for getting that monocoque all very glassy. Okay, that's the slipper tank flatted back. I've got a few bits and pieces just to fill. There's a few raised edges around, obviously around the edges. It's a bit odd, that needs a bit of filling. And yeah, not too bad otherwise. It had a coat of etch primer yesterday, and I've just flatted it back. A few bits of stopper in there, just where there was the odd imperfection. And the clever bit now is being able to suspend this so I can spray the top of the tank and then flip it without scratching anything that I've sprayed, and then be able to spray the top of the tank. So we'll give that a go. I'm hoping to get 2 good thick coats on there today, so we're going to do the normal dust coat, and then we're going to go do a nice thick layer on the one side, and then I'm going to turn it over, dust coat it again, leave it 15 minutes, and then do another thick coat on the other side, and I'm hoping it will blend in. So there's the painting rig. Got some post today. Let's have a little look what's in my envelope. There you have it, bit of cork gasket. I'm hoping it's about the same thickness. Oh, I'd say it's a tad thinner, but I'm going to go with it. So, got to make 2 out of this. Not a lot of room for cock-ups. Might get 3 at a push. I make the diameter of that 77 millimeters. I'm going to go and find something 77 millimeters that I can draw around, because I haven't got a compass. And here it is. It just so happens that the bottom of my wine glass is the perfect size. And there we have it. So the next thing is to cut it out. And there we have it, the new gasket. Trusty hole punch. Punch my 5 holes in the right place. Now we've got to pop it on the tank, which is hidden in these towels here. So a bit of sealant and some screws, and hopefully we'll be as good as new. Before we seal it up again, I thought we'd have a little look inside the tank, see the condition. And I'd say that's not bad at all, really. There's the gasket in place. And this is probably overkill, but I spent hours polishing this tank. So I'm going to put a couple of bits of protective strip across these edges for when it's going on and off. And I'm also going to put another protective bit along here, which is where that strut comes up, and it tends to rub as you're dismantling it, just on there, because you drop it onto the bar, and this part of the paintwork gets scratched. And there we have it, just a couple of bits of tape down the side, down that side, and a couple under there. The tank rubbed down again, so that was top coat. We had a bit of a nasty run on the other end, but I've managed to buff that out, buff it out, polish it out, sand it out. I've managed to sand it out. There we go. There's a couple of little pin pricks which I've had to put some spot filler in, so hopefully that will cover it nicely with the paint. So I'm going to blow it all off, tack rag it down, and then hang it up in my cradle. And we're going to try the top coat, final coat tonight. Let's give it a go. Well, that's a change in the weather. We're going to have a buff on this tank. It's had 2 coats now, and I spent yesterday evening flattening it back, just trying to get some of the orange peel out of it. And now we're going to go over it with the buffer with some G3 and then some G10. A bit of this, like that, I believe, and then we have a bit of that. So there we have it. After a quick run over with the buffer, I've got to take it inside and just go around a few edges later tonight and go across this edge, and then I'll give it a bit of a coat of wax, bit of auto glim, and that should really bring the shine up, but that ain't bad.